And next will be the Gene Robinson. And
you'll have to excuse me. I'm going to keep my cap on because it's cold. It's freezing. Yes. Thank you. Yeah, right. I'm Gene Robinson. Welcome to Coral Springs, you people from the hinterlands. I'm president of the Tamarack Margate Coconut Creek Republican Club. I'm also a member of the Coral Springs-Parkland Club. And let me say this about my club. We're the only club in Broward County that had 3 individuals from my club run against sitting incumbents. Scott Yardley ran for the Florida House, and people thought that there was no way he could win. The first speech he gave in front of my club, I had club members come and say, "Oh my God, where did you get him from? What? I can't." And I said, "You watch this man. He works hard, and he's going to get," and by the time he got to the end of his campaign, he was very good at what he did. He must have been very good because Jim Waldman, who won, the sitting incumbent, who is now under investigation, got 18,000 votes, but this man got 12,000 votes. That's a lot. Pat Laffey, who was a retired cop from the Northeast, moved down here, and he called me one day and he invited me over to his condo, and he said, "I'm thinking about running for political office." He'd never done it before, but he said God put it on his heart. And I said, if God puts it on your heart, you got to do it. This is a man who had no experience, and when he got up to speak at our club the first time, you couldn't even hear him across the room. But by the end of the campaign, he was so good that he got against Jeremy Ring, powerful Florida senator. Pat Laffey got 35,000 votes for people who believe. That's the second person from the Tamarack Margate Coconut Creek Club. And then Joe Budd, who had only run one time in a primary against Ed Lynch, got over 100,000 votes. So we did all right. There's an individual in here, Joe Eichenberg, who sits on my board. Tom Powers, the city commissioner from Coral Springs, is first vice president of my club. So we interchange. We do a lot of things up here in the Northwest, so that we do things for Coral Springs does things for Margate. We work on each other's campaigns so that we get out and do what we have to do in the community. I'm a fundraiser, and it's not as easy as people think. You can organize committees to do that, and there are individuals who can do that. But I've been on committees that raise money before, and I appointed 7 people to a committee to raise money for a school-based health center in Cincinnati, Ohio. We needed to raise $350,000. I put 7 people on this committee. One was an individual who was stepping down as past president of the school board. One was an individual who sat on the city council in Cincinnati, who graduated from the elementary school. He was a businessman who grew up in that community. There was a doctor who had his practice in that community. It was an inner city school. None of them could ask for money. They had all these contacts, but none of them could ask for money. It's not the easiest thing in the world to do, to go up to someone and ask for money. So I just told them, give me the names of your people, and I will get the cash. I stopped people when they were pumping gas. I told them, you have to stop pumping your gas. And they said, "Why? I'm Gene Robinson. I want your money. I want your money." I went to individuals. I walked up to doctors in the middle of the hallway, and I said, "I know you live in Indian Hill. That's a section of Cincinnati, very wealthy." I said, "I know you got deep pockets. I want you." He said, "Who are you?" "I'm Gene Robinson. I'm raising money for Rockdale Elementary School-Based Health Center." We raised $7 million and had the entire school rebuilt. it can be done, but it's not an easy process. You really have to be out there beating the bushes. And even though, I said last night, Lincoln Day is a great event, and it's a tradition. It has to be something that has to be carried on. But we can't rely on a Lincoln Day to bring in money every year to this party. 2 years ago, we didn't have a Lincoln Day. This year, there were times when we had no money in the treasury. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but that's the case. And Richard had to go into his pocket at times and help, as did Chip Lamarck. There are individuals in this county who have deep pockets, who are well-heeled, who give money to the state party, who give money national. They don't give money locally because they think we're losers. We had nobody until Chip won the county commission. We had nobody there. We had no one on the school board. Kevin Tynan was appointed, and then when he ran, he got blown out. And Democrats just hold sway in this county. It's what they do. I know an individual who is has an automobile dealership, and I know him from Ohio, the heart of it all. He had his first store up there, but he didn't sell automobiles, he sold motorcycles. And I went up to him one day and I said, my first wife was from Shaker Heights, outside of Cleveland. And I said, you had a store selling motorcycles in Lawrenceville. He said, you remember that? I said, yeah, I remember that. I'm not going to mention his name because I'm going to hit him up when the time comes. So when I go to him and say, listen, here's what I want you to do. I want you to get the other well-heeled individuals, and I want you to have them into your house, and I'm going to come down there. And I learned to raise money from a banker from Cincinnati, Ohio, named Clement Banger, 6'6", bald-head German. And he raised more money in southwestern Ohio than anybody had ever raised in the history of southwestern Ohio. He would call all the wealthy individuals and all the influential individuals, and he would call them down to the conference room of Fifth Third Bank, and he said, I want you to be down here tomorrow afternoon at 4:30. I got a project. And they said, yeah, didn't want to come because they knew he was going to ask for money. But if they don't show up, then they're not among the who's who. So they all come. He goes to the back, locks the conference room door, comes all the way through to the front, 6'6", locks the front conference room door and says, I need $2.4 million, and I want you to check your pledge before you leave. They grumble, but they write. He has a guy adding it up. He says, how much? We need another $200,000. We need another $200,000. Now they're really pissed, but they write. When he died, the media went to all these people and they said, what did you feel about Clement Banger? They hated him. They hated him. Everybody hates the fundraiser. Everybody hates me. I don't care. You can hate me all you want. My father always said the only thing that counts are the results. I'm going to get the money. They said they loved him. He was our best friend because they wanted to carry on the legacy of Clement Banger, even though they hated him. There are only two things that you need to win in politics: money and votes. Money brings the votes. Without the money, you don't have anything. All the ideas in the world are great. All the committees set up are great. All the technology is great. But if you don't have the money to pay for it, it doesn't matter. Thank you.